with Jeff Lewis, Global Market Strategist with JP Morgan Asset Management, who joins us live from Hong Kong. Jeff, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Jeff, even though the clock is ticking, there is still a significant distance between both the parties, and I guess it is impossible to believe that the fate of the fiscal cliff will be sealed anytime soon.
That's right. Today is the last hour, and at 12 o'clock midnight, then the fiscal cliff will come into effect unless there's been an agreement today, which is now seeming increasingly unlikely. The President recalled Congress on Sunday, but to some extent, I think they're just showing up, even though they know it's going to be pretty impossible to reach an agreement today. So there's going to be more uncertainty ahead. Some commentators would say that rather than have got a minimum agreement, such as the Senate bill, that it's better actually for them to fall off the cliff and continue negotiations and get agreements on a broader package. So we still have that possibility, but the more these talks drag on, then the more it's going to also bring the spectre of the debt ceiling into play. The Treasury has announced that it's already over its limits, but it has some emergency funding mechanisms, and it's likely to be able to last until early February. But again, we know this is one of the issues which the ratings agencies have said they're watching quite carefully, that they do require the U.S. to be committing to some sensible medium-term fiscal progress and an increase in the debt ceiling. So all in all, it's quite disappointing, I think, for those of us who thought there would have been a last-minute agreement.
Jeff, like you just said, most people do believe that if there is a fiscal cliff deal, it is likely to be a small one. Do you think this is something which is absorbed by the markets, or can we see a sell-off if indeed there is no deal by today?
I think we'll certainly see some volatility. I think the markets will dip if there's no deal today, because then the uncertainty will continue then for an unspecified length of time in early January. We still believe that a deal will be done, and it will be more than minimum. One possibility is that Boehner is reconfirmed on January the 3rd, and that gives him a little bit more leeway in dealing with the more extreme wings of his party.
Jeff, final question. If the fate of fiscal cliff is not sealed before the deadline of 31st of December 2012, are we in for a nasty surprise next year? Do you think global equities will cave in and U.S. market will automatically ensure that we could be in for a nasty start for 2013?
Well, I think if they don't come to a broader agreement and if these fiscal measures kick in, then certainly we'll be off to a very, very weak start for U.S. GDP and activity, and that will set a bad precedent for the year. But I have to say that is not our central scenario. We still believe that eventually a deal will be reached at the 11th hour.